hide behind the sofa or grab that box of popcorn. Do what you were doing when you saw that video of Harry and Meghan twerking in the maternity unit. We can reveal today that the Sussexes have sacked 4 of their more established PR staff in what has been described as a bloodbath.
You know what they say about royal life? It's all crowns and glamour until someone starts twerking in a maternity ward. And folks, I'm not making this up. Meghan and Harry just pulled off what can only be described as the corporate equivalent of a midnight zombie apocalypse. Except instead of brains, they were hunting for PR heads to roll. 4 of them, to be exact. And the reason? Well, because this story has more twists than a pretzel factory explosion. So picture this. It's probably some random Tuesday in Montecito. Harry's sipping his oat milk latte. Meghan's doing her morning affirmations in the mirror. And somewhere in their mansion that's bigger than most people's hometowns, 4 PR professionals are about to get the shock of their lives.
Now, these are the UK-based communications director, Charlie Gibson, one of their US-based communications director, Carl Boulier. Also, another communications director who is called Disha Tank has quit, and their social media manager, who has been responsible for much of the social media over the past couple of months, has also gone.
Charlie Gibson, their UK communications director, gone. KL Bouya, their US communications guru, sayonara. Disha Tank, another communications wizard, poof, vanished like my motivation on Monday mornings. And their social media manager, the poor soul responsible for whatever digital chaos has been happening, well, they got the boot faster than you can say viral video disaster. But here's where it gets absolutely bonkers. And I mean reality television meets Game of Thrones bonkers. The replacement team isn't some stuffy British PR firm with centuries of experience handling royal protocol. Oh no, that would be too boring for our favorite ex-royals. Instead, they hired Method Communications, and when I tell you what these people specialize in, you're going to understand why Buckingham Palace probably has a permanent supply of smelling salts on standby.
These are disruptors called Method Communications, a PR firm that revels in finding all sorts of fun things to go on social media and really cause a bit of a scene. They were the ones behind this video that was criticised, but still gained up to 42 million views.
Method Communications, bless their chaotic hearts, are what they call disruptors. And no, that's not a fancy way of saying they're really good at ruining dinner parties, though I bet they could be. These are the people who look at traditional PR and say, you know what this needs? More cowbell. They promise game-changing results, they challenge the status quo, and they apparently have a PhD in making things go viral for all the wrong reasons. Think of them as the PR equivalent of that friend who convinced you to get a face tattoo in college. Technically, it got you attention, but was it the right kind of attention? Now, you're probably wondering what masterpiece of modern communication convinced Harry and Meghan that these were their people. Well, grab your popcorn because this is where the story gets juicier than a gossip column written by your nosy neighbor. Method Communications was behind that video, you know the one. The pregnancy announcement video, where our royal couple decided that the appropriate way to share their joy with the world was through what can only be described as interpretive dance meets fertility clinic commercial meets. Well, let's just say it involved some very enthusiastic hip movements. The internet had a field day with this thing. Critics were clutching their pearls so hard they probably turned them into diamonds. Traditionalists were fainting left and right like they were extras in a Victorian drama. And meanwhile, the view counter was spinning faster than a washing machine on the fritz. 42 million views, people. That's more eyeballs than most Super Bowl commercials get, and those cost companies their firstborn children to produce. So there's Harry and Meghan, sitting in their Montecito mansion that probably has more square footage than some small countries, watching these numbers climb, and you can almost hear the light bulb moment. Hang on, they're thinking. People have been trying to crack the code of viral content for years, spending millions on marketing consultants and focus groups, and we just accidentally stumbled onto the secret formula. Royal baby announcements plus questionable dance moves equals internet gold. But here's the thing about viral fame. It's like that carnival cotton candy that looks amazing until you actually try to eat it and realize it's just sugar and regret. Because while those 42 million people were watching, not all of them were exactly sending congratulatory fruit baskets.
Now this move, this axe, this bloodbath, this getting rid of the 4 established staff that are working in Montecito could potentially horrify the royal family.
The comment section probably looked like a war zone, the traditional media was having conniptions, and somewhere in London, If you just know, there were some very serious people in very expensive suits having very uncomfortable conversations about brand management and royal dignity. And this is where our story takes a turn that's more dramatic than a soap opera season finale. Because the people who were supposed to be managing this PR hurricane, the 4 professionals who probably went to school for communications and everything, well, they became the fall guys faster than you can say scapegoat. It's like being the captain of the Titanic, except instead of an iceberg, you hit a viral video. And instead of women and children first, it's PR staff overboard. Charlie Gibson, who probably spent years crafting carefully worded press releases and managing delicate media relationships, suddenly found himself on the wrong side of the royal revolution. KL Bouia, who likely had spreadsheets full of strategic communication plans, discovered that all her expertise meant nothing in the face of dance-based content creation. Disha Tank and the social media manager probably woke up one morning to find their access revoked faster than a bouncer kicking out drunk college kids. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. And by interesting, I mean grab the popcorn and settle in, because this train wreck is just getting started. The royal family, the folks back in Britain who are probably still trying to figure out how to use WhatsApp, are watching all this unfold with what I imagine is a mixture of horror, fascination, and the kind of secondhand embarrassment you get when your relative starts dancing at a wedding. Can you imagine the conversations happening in Buckingham Palace right now? Picture King Charles, probably sipping his organic tea from a cup that costs more than most people's cars, getting briefed on his son's latest PR adventures. Your Majesty, they've hired a company that specializes in viral content. Oh, how modern of them. What sort of content? Well, sir, remember that video where they were dancing to announce the pregnancy? And then there's probably this long, uncomfortable silence that stretches on until someone quietly suggests they might need stronger tea. The palace staff are probably sitting there like chess players who just watch their opponents flip the board over and start playing checkers. All those years of careful protocol, measured statements, and diplomatic language, and suddenly they're dealing with relatives who think the key to public relations is getting people to share videos with crying, laughing emojis. It's like they've been playing classical music for centuries and suddenly someone plugged in an electric guitar and started shredding. But wait, it gets better. Because this isn't just about one viral video, oh no, that would be too simple. This is apparently the beginning of a whole new chapter in the Sussex PR playbook. We're talking about more videos in the style of that Santa Barbara one, more candid family photos like those Disneyland shots that had the internet arguing about everything from parenting techniques to theme park etiquette. And you know what the really wild part is? This whole PR bloodbath might actually be a strategic move disguised as chaos. Think about it. 2024 has been rougher for Harry and Meghan than a sandpaper facial. It started with that Vanity Fair article that brought back all the workplace bullying allegations against Meghan from her royal days. Those stories that made her sound like the boss from hell, the kind of person who probably sends emails at 3 a.m. with the subject line, "Urgent! Why is the coffee machine making that noise?" Then there was Meghan's attempted rebrand that crashed and burned faster than my diet every January. Remember American Riviera Orchard? That whole lifestyle brand thing that was supposed to make her the next Martha Stewart, but instead made people wonder if she'd had one too many glasses of her own wine while coming up with the name? Yeah, that got quietly shelved faster than a bad reality television show. And don't even get me started on With Love, Meghan, her Netflix show that got reviews so bad, they made me feel better about my own cooking disasters. Critics on both sides of the Atlantic basically said it was about as inspiring as watching paint dry, except at least paint drying has a clear endpoint. The show was supposed to showcase her lifestyle expertise, but instead it showcased why maybe, just maybe, not everyone needs their own cooking show. But the real piece de resistance was Harry's BBC interview. And folks, when I say this thing was a disaster, I mean it was like watching someone try to put out a fire with gasoline while blindfolded. There's Harry, standing in front of the cameras, basically burning every bridge back to his family with the enthusiasm of someone who forgot that interviews are permanent and the internet is forever. He criticized his father, threw shade at the royal family, took shots at Britain itself, and generally acted like someone who thought the best way to heal family relationships was with a flamethrower. It's like he took whatever olive branch might have existed between him and his family and didn't just break it, he turned it into kindling and roasted marshmallows over it. And then we get those absolutely surreal photos of Prince Harry just casually strolling through West London, knocking on random doors like he's selling vacuum cleaners or running for local council. Doorbell cameras caught him wandering around like a lost tourist, allegedly looking for a friend, while simultaneously claiming that the UK was too dangerous for him to visit. It's like saying you're afraid of water while doing the backstroke in a swimming pool. So here's where the plot thickens like badly made gravy. The Sussexes have this amazing talent for pointing fingers at everyone except themselves when things go sideways. PR team messed up? Fire them. Negative media coverage? Blame the press. Family drama? Obviously everyone else's fault. It's like they've got a PhD in passing the buck with a minor in it wasn't me studies. By getting rid of their entire established PR team, they've basically created the perfect scapegoats for everything that's gone wrong this year. Oh, that terrible Vanity Fair situation? That was the old team's fault. The failed rebrand? Definitely the previous PR people. My husband's disastrous interviews? Well, they should have prepared him better. It's actually kind of genius in a twisted way. Clean slate, new team, fresh start, and a convenient group of people to blame for past disasters. But here's the million-dollar question that's keeping royal watchers awake at night. What happens when Method Communications inevitably creates their next viral sensation, and it backfires spectacularly? Because let's be real here, when your business model is literally, let's see what gets people talking, you're essentially playing Russian roulette with public opinion. These are the people who thought pregnancy announcement twerking was a good idea. What's next? A cooking show where they prepare meals while discussing family drama? A home renovation series where they redecorate while roasting the monarchy? A travel show where they visit places Harry's supposedly too scared to go to? The possibilities are endless and frankly, terrifying. And the beautiful irony is that when this new strategy inevitably crashes and burns, and let's face it, with their track record, it's not a matter of if but when, who are they going to blame? They can't fire Method Communications for doing exactly what they were hired to do. They can't blame the old PR team because they already got rid of them. They can't blame the media because the media will just be reporting on whatever viral disaster they create next. For the first time in years, Harry and Meghan might actually have to look in the mirror and ask themselves some hard questions. But based on their history of accountability, I'm guessing they'll find a way to blame the mirror manufacturer, the lighting, or maybe even the concept of reflection itself. The royal family, meanwhile, is probably stocking up on aspirin and practicing their poker faces, because if you thought the pregnancy video was something, just wait until Method Communications really gets warmed up. They're sitting in Buckingham Palace like people watching a horror movie through their fingers. You don't want to look, but you can't look away either. And the best part? This is just the beginning. We're witnessing the birth of a whole new era of royal PR, where tradition meets TikTok, where protocol meets viral content, and where centuries of carefully crafted royal image meet the chaotic energy of internet fame. So grab your popcorn, folks, because the Meghan and Harry show just got a whole lot more interesting, and by interesting I mean absolutely, completely, wonderfully unhinged. The only question now is, what could possibly go wrong? Buckle up, because if their track record is anything to go by, we're about to find out exactly what happens when you give viral content creators unlimited access to ex-royal family members with a grudge to settle and absolutely nothing left to lose. This is going to be better than reality television, and way more expensive than any Netflix series they could ever produce. The bloodbath is over, the new team is in place, and the royal family is holding its breath. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Meghan and Harry PR revolution. May God save us all.